Okay, I'm going to open up a letter size page in Illustrator. I want to, let's see, letter size horizontal, that's going to be great. Some things I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is the text tool, because I see this happen a lot. People make a text box in Illustrator and you can see it fills with text. It's not going to be something that we want because of this problem. If when you rotate, it doesn't, for one thing, it doesn't rotate with the box. The other thing is you can tell with this down here that there's a this little icon down here that tells you it's text in a box. I rarely use text in a box in Illustrator. It doesn't mean I don't ever use it. I'm very aware that when I do use it, that it's when I'm going to be using it for a big paragraph. I'm going to go ahead and write in the word logo type, and we're going to be talking about logos, but a logo type is a word mark where you're going to be changing fonts. I'm just going to give it this as a size. I'll show you the problem when it's inside of a box. If your type gets bigger, it wraps around like that. So you don't want that. And again, when I go to my selection tool, then I can see that I have this bounding box. When I rotate, it doesn't rotate with the work. I'm going to just copy this. And what I want to show is the way I like to work in Illustrator is text on a line. You click once and you're going to get it. You still have a box when you select it, but for the most part, you're going to see a line underneath and a little anchor point there telling you that it's left justified. If you look up here, you can see the left justification. If you want to rotate it, you get to do this, and it rotates the way you like. When I'm working in Illustrator, I like to also, if you want to do something a little bit different, you can. I'm going to change the type here. I'm going to go ahead and paste this. I'm going to change the typeface here. Go to my find the typeface. Go to there you go. I'm going to use this typeface. One thing I want to say is if you change the alignment, you can see that the anchor point moves to the center, so that's a nice way to tell where you're at. Another thing that you can do, I like to hold down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and hit the left arrow to tighten up your leading. You can also highlight just one letter, hold down Option or Alt, tighten that up, so you can actually change your tracking, and you can also do kerning just by doing an individual letter, hold down Option, and kind of spend some time getting all this worked out. The next thing I want to talk about is in type, going to type, go to create outlines. When I create outlines, it's no longer live text. It's now graphic. If I show it in outline form, you can see that up here is live text. You can see the bounding box. This is live text on a line, and now we have this type, which is now an outline, no longer editable as a word. But once you get deeper into your logo, you can start to play with that. I'm going to go back to preview mode. Here you can ungroup it, and then when you select individual letters, they can be rotated, sized. Make sure you hold down Shift when you size it so you're not distorting it. I'm going to go through and have some fun with this, kind of make it a little bit playful. I'm going to go make this T bigger, and then I'm rotated a little bit. You can see that now by just grabbing individual letters, it gives you a little bit more flexibility, but it also allows you to start to make some custom some custom type, custom looking type. If you're going to do a logo, this is now much more playful. I'm also going to take this little image, the little hyphen here, and I'm going to just give it a little bit more weight so it feels like it's a little bit more in keeping with that typeface. So that's some things about type. Then I'm also going to take a rectangle tool. I'm going to hold down Shift and draw out a perfect square. I want to now, I've selected over here an orange. This is, I'm going to make it a global color. If I go down here to next to the trash can, I have a new swatch. Click on that. That's going to give me, I'm going to make sure that global is checked, and I'm going to call it client color 1 because I'm not sure what color I'm going to end up with. I'm going to just show you that by making this a global color. Now it has a frame around it, and it also gives me a chance to use tints. So I'm going to option drag this down, holding down the option key or alt key. I'm going to grab a tint, maybe get a little bit lighter, do a few steps, go a little bit lighter here. And I'm just going to go through and get kind of a progressively lighter. So this is one global color, but I'm using tints for it. And so that is, I'm selecting all of them. My shortcut on a Mac is I'll hold down the command key, and whatever tool I'm in, let's say I'm in the type tool, or let's say I'm in the brush tool. If I hold down command, I think it's control on a PC. If I hold down command, I can toggle to, from whatever tool I'm in, I can toggle to my selection tool, and I'm just going to have it distribute centers, so that's nice and even. And then I'm going to grab all of them, drag them over, and then I'm going to pick a new color. Let me see. I'm gonna pick a new color here. I'm gonna go with purple. I'm gonna make it a new swatch. I'm gonna call it client color 2. Make sure that it's checked as global. And then I now have my second color. I'm going to just option drag these over and then switch to my second global color. I'm also going to drag my global colors down here. So I have them. So I have my 2 global colors. I no longer am going to need these other colors. I'm just going to, right now, I'm going to show you, you can clean up your swatches just by doing this. I'm going to get rid of all of these down here. So when I'm working with a client, I might just have these options. Right now, I'm going to just move these out of the way because I'm going to need a little bit more room. Because I have my type ungrouped, here I'm going to go ahead and select this and give it my color 2. And then I'm going to select these 4, give it my color 1. All right, so you can see here. Now the advantage of global colors are that if I want to change my colors, I can just go to this orange and I can change it. If I have my preview on, I can change it. So I'm gonna mix kind of a neutral green. Okay, you can see how it updates over here. And then I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna switch that out. So you can see I'm gonna give it maybe a rustier color. Give it more yellow. Bring down some red. And I go from really bright kind of complements to having that be another, and I'll just kind of give these tints so you can kind of just see what the range will look like. I'll make that one a little lighter. Make each of these a little lighter. and just so there's some contrast. So I'm looking at the values, pairing them. So now I kind of have my two brand colors. So that's kind of a nice thing to think about, having your brand colors there. Then I'm going to talk about, the next thing I'm going to talk about is Pathfinder. I'm going to grab the star tool, and I can make a star here. If I while I'm still pulling the star out, I can add star points. And if I hold down Control, or is that Command? If I hold down the Command key on a Mac, I think it's the Control key on a PC, I can change the sharpness of the star. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with another shape. I'm just going to make my other shape now is going to be my color. And I'm going to make this one my other color. So I'll make it the full. Okay. So I'm going to make a new star. And give it the full amount. Okay, so you can see one thing in front of the other. If I was to come in and if I wanted to knock out a piece, I could shift click on both. Hold on, shift click on both. I can go to my Pathfinder and I can have minus front, and then I end up with a more of a unique shape. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of talk about Pathfinder a little bit. When I have my circle and a circle, and I'm going to make it a different color. I'm going to do this a couple times, so we'll see them. This one is going to be unite, so I take the far left one here, unite. That makes it into one. This one, if I do minus front, that cuts out the front one. And if I take this one and I do intersect, I can get that football shape. Or if I go to the exclude, it removes that football shape. Now you can come back in if you want and just assign your different color to that second one. So those are a couple things to think about when you're starting to mess around with logos. Quite often I will you know, take some time figuring out what typeface would work best with my client. I might spend some time going down the line here, looking to see what might be a nice option, and then I might try. Oops, I don't want to do that. Might try some different versions of it. Look how many font families are in there, which is very cool. So you can kind of go through and start to zero in on what would be best for your client. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I will catch you on the next tutorial.